welcome back. We're now going to be playing stage 3 of the arranged path. I can't say I remember which game this is from. It's probably Ghouls and Ghosts because most of the stages are from there. I played all of the original 3 games at some point or another, but not very often because I don't know, I just don't like them. Super Ghouls and Ghosts is like the only game in those main 3 games that is actually fair most of the time. I don't know if, well, probably most people won't have played the original Ghosts and Goblins, but it was so incredibly cheap. People are going on about how Super Ghouls and Ghosts is the hardest game ever. Well, it's not, because Ghouls and Ghosts was harder, and Ghosts and Goblins was even harder, and all that. Anyway, you might have noticed I started this stage with normal armor. That's because if I finish the previous stage on the recorded try with less than bronze, I will basically commit suicide before recording here, so I won't have better armor than what I finished with last time. So this is just some kind of cave with platforms, rather awkward platforms, and of course these bubbly things which kind of disappear for no reason. There was something about the boss in the previous stage that I didn't get to show off. One of his attacks, except it isn't really an attack. He fires an energy ball that creates a red armor, and he basically stops attacking and just avoids you the whole time. Damn it. Until you kill the red armor. And of course, that's a pretty effective weapon considering how annoying those guys are. But unfortunately I didn't get to show that off. The reason I mention it is because even with save states I had to replay that fight about 7 or 8 times to be able to actually finish it without getting hit. This part is all about timing. These platforms just zip around at this point. But all things considered, this part isn't that hard. Although you have to be pretty quick with timing at some points. And look who we've got here. Old friend I was just talking about, who I'm gonna just cheaply kill. Now we're at the second part, and here's where things start to ramp up a bit. We have this bridge here over lava, and when you step on it, parts of it drop off. And when I say parts of it, I mean practically the entire thing. Because I mean, otherwise it would be just too easy, wouldn't it? I'm sure there's supposed to be a treasure around here. It's probably one of those difficult ones that you can usually only find with the treasure finder magic. The good thing about playing the original Super Nintendo version for so long is I've got a really good instinct about how to time jumps so I land exactly where I want. So now we've got flame explosion things, as if it wasn't hard enough already. And yes, we will have to put up with the bridge is collapsing on top of that. I get really nervous around these things. Not because they're particularly difficult, it's just they always seem to go off as soon as I try to jump or something normally. So I've been conditioned to be careful around them. And I just don't trust these bridges to stay on them while they do that. There. And that always catches me by surprise. These flames don't appear until you jump on there. Bear traps. I've had enough of those because there's just not really a... Well, that was sure entertaining, wasn't it? It's not like I even could have jumped up there because the stupid trap was in the way. Would have knocked me straight back into the pit. I'm sure one of these bridges has a part where the piece closest to the wall doesn't collapse. Okay, and for some reason my jump button didn't register there. Personally, I'm just glad it didn't do that where it would actually matter, like further along. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I am absolutely sure that bag was not here when I just jumped over. Maybe I'm just going crazy or something. I had absolutely no reason to die here anyway. This is still a really easy part. The only real difficult part in this stage is the boss. Yeah, and that's kind of authentic to the original levels that they're remaking here, because in the previous games in the series, usually the bosses were always the hardest part. Which isn't to say the areas beforehand weren't difficult, that is. Seriously, if you want to debate that, it's kind of badly timed. If you want to debate that, then go play the last level of Ghosts and Goblins, and then tell me that the game isn't as hard as this one. Yeah, nice timing, guy. Almost caught me again with that. It's a good job you can jump so far in this. Yeah, that was the last one. So once again, I lost my armor at a really stupid place. Save stating here, I'm not sure if I'm going to use it because I'll have to redo this level anyway. So I probably shouldn't have save stated, because now I will have to redo the whole thing. Anyway, this boss is some weird looking dragon thing that sort of floats around and shoots fireballs. It can be kind of erratic moving, but for once the axe is actually coming in useful, and I was able to kill that thing with no trouble whatsoever. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about, how the weapons are good in certain situations. It's just you never usually get to those situations. But anyway, that was stage 3. We'll be moving on to a sort of glimpse of the past with the next one, even more so than usual. So until then, we're continuing with stage 4. And this one is kind of special. Kind of. What this is actually a remake of the very beginning of the game from Ghosts and Goblins. The very first game in the series. So although we've technically done the graveyard already, well, we're doing it again, and it's rather harder than last time, which shouldn't be any surprise. Because for some reason all the games start in a graveyard. I think even Maximo does. Maximo is the sort of next gen, well, next gen. No, the sort of spiritual successor to the Ghosts Goblins series. And we have the dashing wolves from the ice stage in the original game. These zombies are just everywhere, and I like to be careful with them. It's like the falling skulls part. There's just so many of these guys that it's kind of difficult to move forward because there's always one either in front of you or just about to appear, and I can't get that for some reason. No. Yeah, I couldn't pick it up by sort of walking to it, but jumping over it, hey, no problem. Now, I've stand a good chance of running out of time in this one because of all the stuff getting in the way, and there's 2 paths and I have to go both of them to pick up all the items. So we've got a rather weird scaling moon in the background. And while things are kind of quiet, I just want to show off something here. If you keep attacking the gravestones, it'll trigger a magician to appear, just like in the original. Because in fact, hitting gravestones was the only way a magician would appear in the original. And he would turn you into a frog, I think. There was a sort of weird glitch you could do that well, made weird things happen. If you got turned into a frog when the timer reaches 0 or something. And now there's zombies everywhere. Again. All things considered, this part of the level isn't too hard. I noticed in the last stage the background was pretty nice. With all the glowing lava pits and flows and everything. Climbing down here can be a bit dicey, because you cannot really see these zombies getting in the way. Well, I need to really hurry this thing up, because it's kind of... time is becoming an issue here, even as short as this part is. Yeah, with this part you can either go up or down. It's better to go up, I think. And now something weird is happening to the moon. Yeah. It's turned into a load of skulls somehow. Don't know how that works. Now we're at pretty much the last part of this first stage here, and we've got one of these jerks to deal with. Okay, come on, you're just making stuff up now. You know perfectly well it takes only 2 hits to kill you with this weapon. So what does he do? He takes more than 2 hits. Just to be complete annoying. Seriously, it's like every time you play this game, you're gonna find something new to hate about those guys. What was I going to say? Stop dropping stuff inside the gravestones. This is supposed to be a collect everything playthrough. Yeah, I'm sorry I keep talking about stuff from the previous stages when I'm playing later ones like this. It's just since I have to play through them again, it usually gives me time to notice stuff that I don't notice when I'm concentrating on doing commentary. So yeah, I'll go the bottom way first this time. Which isn't such a good idea, in all honesty, because for some reason going upward seems to reduce the spawn rate of these zombies. So you're just making things harder by going down, usually. I think the moon is kind of what affects the spawn rate as well. Yeah, that's a really annoying bag to get, by the way, because you just know you're going to land right on top of some zombie down there. How come I don't have as many? There should be like gold armor around here. I'm forgetting all the box locations. But suddenly there's no enemies, which is a good thing. But yeah, going for that bag up there is a good idea because... Well, I mean, it isn't a good idea because... I don't know if you heard that, but just now, well, that was the sound of an enemy dying. There is a wolf exactly where you will land from grabbing this thing. Or close enough, anyway. And now I've got magic, so I can get rid of this guy. Get rid of this guy without any problems. And just for the heck of it, I'll do that one more time because it really doesn't affect anything. And the moon suddenly disappears. And the screen starts shaking. This can only be good things, right? That bag there is a trap, kind of. And it's really easy to die here. See, if you're under that thing, even if you're jumping at the time, you'll die. It's like the wave from the first stage in the original game. But now we're through the first part, finally. And we've got these guys back again from the ice stage. Just like the wolves, in fact. There seems to be some sort of overlap going on here. One thing that the first part of this stage doesn't have that the original game did is the sort of eyeball plant things that shoot fireballs. Well, that was sure amazing. Not quite sure why they didn't include those, but they're basically the same as those flaming skull plant things from the first stage of Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Oh jeez, I hate this part. Only because these stupid guys with shields just keep getting in the way all the time. These stone things come to life when you step on them. At least most of them do. The ones that are kind of broken like that one don't, but the others... And now we've got bats getting in the way as well, as if everything else wasn't enough. There's still a worse part of the stage than this somewhere, though. I don't know why everything has to be so in your face in this arranged mode in general, actually. You're just never given the slightest amount of room. Everything is in the way. There's always a zillion things to dodge on the screen at the same time. Take these things, for instance. When they get to the edge of the screen, they don't disappear. They turn around and keep following you. At least they don't... They only take one shot to kill. But what was I meant to do about that? I couldn't see that bat, and by the time I jumped, that thing had come alive, so I couldn't even jump back. And this is why Super Ghouls and Ghosts is a much better game than its prequels. Because for the most part, it's actually fair. For the most part. There's a far less occurrence of no-win situations that you can't do anything about and you couldn't possibly have avoided. And I didn't press forward while making that jump. Not that it matters, because I would have missed the platform anyway, but seriously, damn those bats, there's nothing you can do about them. You just gotta hope that they're going to be in the right place. That is... I mean, you can say all you want about how old games are supposed to be more difficult than newer ones. That's all well and good, but it's the wrong kind of difficulty. Stuff that you can't see coming, you can't do anything about. That's not real difficulty, that's just cheapness. Yeah, and that guy can just stay stone there forever for all I care. You guys get out the way. Can I possibly die less, please? So now you've got a kind of tricky bit, because none of these platforms are permanent, and that bat I somehow got hit by even though I jumped over it. I was in plenty of time, it should have gone over it, but it didn't. Once again. Artificial difficulty. Also, I love it how those bats are always in exactly the place where you're going to be when you jump. There is no way I could not have made that jump. Generally, arrange mode is pretty okay, but I think there's two parts in particular that are really stupid, and this is one of them. I'm not sure, but I think it may not have even been this bad in the original game this came from. But don't quote me on that. I played both those games, but it was an incredibly long time ago. Because both of those games are just so cheap, I honestly can't bear to play them more than once every 5 years or something. What was I supposed to do? I can't stop to kill those things because they're coming alive underneath me. I think the trick with those might be to wait until you get a bat that's kind of going exactly where you don't want it to go, because it seems like it might not come from two places at the same time. Okay, this time I'm gonna get that guy out of the way first. But seriously, you only have one chance at this part. Whose idea was it to make it so that you could only try it once? Because, I mean, there's no returning now. At any rate, I think we've managed to do it. Which means, as usual, I'm still going to have to play it again because I don't have decent armor. So here's our boss. And he was kind of like the original boss, and I jumped over that. Right, that sure is a fair fight. You can't jump over him, his fireballs, because they hit you anyway, and you can't crouch under them because they hit you anyway. Okay, now you're not even trying, just... Screw this. I'm not going to make it without armor no matter what anyway, so I don't feel like wasting more time. Come on! I could not see that. I could not do anything about that unless I wanted to jump straight in the hole. Ridiculous. I don't care what you say, they cannot always be in exactly the right place to land on me. Luck doesn't work that way. See what I mean? I jump forward and back and there just happens to be a bat in the exact place you're going to land. This is not random, it does this intentionally. That's why it's so pro-gamer challenging. Yeah, right. Say what you like. Developers in the 1980s, for the most part, did not know what proper difficulty is. You know, I may just be screwed here regardless, because I don't remember finding enough boxes to be able to get bronze armor. Because for some reason you need 3 instead of 2 like it used to be. And I don't think there's that many to be found. Because this whole level is on these stupid log demon things. That was lucky. Sort of, because now I can't make it through anyway. Look, you've made your point. You don't need to keep pulling this random crap out of nowhere. I get the picture. You're hardcore. Stop falling off the edge of cliffs that you aren't actually touching the edge of. Surely that's not too much to ask. But you forget, this is a pro gamer's game. Everything is too much to ask in a game like this. You wonder why I keep going on with the whole derisive thing about pro gamers. It's because that is generally what people who mostly play Super Nintendo games call themselves. It's all the whole look at me modern games are way too easy, haha. I'm much better than they are because I'm playing games where the designers had no idea what proper difficulty is, and bats somehow ignore the angle they're travelling at and my weapons are travelling at to not get hit so they can hit me. Why is this getting harder the more I play it? There should be an item here. There is supposed to be an... Which means that to get through this for real, I'm going to have to play through the entire stage over again. And I may have already save stated, in which case I'm going to have to play through the entire game again. Don't you just love looking forward to these things? I would seriously like to know why you can't get bronze armor in 2 treasure chests anymore. In a normal game, I just don't get it. Nothing makes sense in this. Now I've got to just jump and hope the bats aren't positioned badly. See, the reason I died last time is because I forgot this one was here. Stop fooling around down there. I need you to come up here so I can kill you. Come on. Not taking any chances with your kind. Also, I really hate that jump there. It's far too dangerous. That was impossible. I jumped off there. Therefore, I could have made it back. Except for some reason you decided to skate off the edge instead of actually landing on it. Why am I doing this? I said in the first video that if it took too long I was just going to start using save states. And there was nothing I could have done there because if I jumped he would have hit me anyway. This is not difficulty. This is stupidity. And the irony here is this stage wasn't actually made in 1990, whatever it was, when they actually made this game. This was made in 2001, or so the title screen says. I'm just angry that I'm going to have to play through the entire game because they couldn't be bothered to put enough treasure chests in this part. Next time I need to keep more than one save state. Utterly impossible. That shot should have hit it, and it didn't come even close to hitting me. I should really just scrap this recording entirely, but I can't remember any of the stuff I said. And you know what? Screw it. You've seen enough of this level. I'll be back when I've made it there without any of this random shit happening. Okay, fortunately I didn't have to play through the whole game again because I was more careful with my save states than I thought. Doesn't mean I'm gonna win this though. What this level has told me is basically that well thought out, carefully designed enemy patterns and that sort of thing. That is proper difficulty. random stuff that comes out of nowhere. And by random, I mean literally randomly generated stuff. Okay, and exactly what am I supposed to do there? Am I supposed to jump over this guy or something? Like when he charges at me? Well, it doesn't work. Oh, he can jump. Well, that would have been useful to know. There is still no reason why you can't duck under those. They go over your head. There is no reason to get hit by it. You can't even abuse the magic that well because of where he always lands. The invincibility doesn't last all that long. But whatever, I'm abusing it anyway. This guy is abusing me, so... I can also quite categorically state that this guy was not as pointlessly difficult as this in the original. I mean, what is his problem? Fireballs, you have to do really risky stuff to jump over. You know, if I'm remembering correctly, I think there's a way to cheese this guy somehow. But I don't remember what. It's like moving in a certain way so that he always does the same thing. How was I supposed to know? Is anyone else glad that I'm not having to redo the entire stage every time this happens? What the hell is this guy's problem? I don't care if it's cheating using this all the time. I've tried fighting this guy fairly and he's having none of it. Finally! Jeez. So as I said, this is definitely one of the stages that kind of is a mess. But we're kind of getting close to the end here. That's funny though. I guess I was thinking of the original Ghouls and Ghosts when I said there was that second one that was really tough, because I guess it isn't in this game at all. Just another example of bad memory. Anyway, the next stage is kind of tricky, but I don't think it's as tricky, so I'll move on to that next time.